What's going on, everyone? We're going to be jumping into Reddit again to answer some marketing questions. You guys really seemed to like that last time, so I got like a handful or so lined up. We'll jump into it, answer some questions, see what people are saying in the comments, and then if you guys have anything to share, hit the comment below, leave me something, I'll respond to it. Hit subscribe so you can get more videos just like this, and let's jump into it. So the first one says, seeking advice on Facebook ad strategy for a postal service business. Hey everyone, I'm relatively new to the world of digital marketing and have a somewhat unusual collaboration that I'd like to seek your advice on. I'm partnering with a business that offers postal delivery services in Rome and the surrounding province. Their target audience includes condominium administrators and e-commerce businesses. I'm tasked with managing their Facebook ads campaigns, and they've indicated that their goals are brand awareness and lead generation. Their daily budget is around 15 to 20 euros. My questions are, with such a limited budget, would it be better to focus on a single objective? How would you structure the strategy for this campaign? Any insights would be greatly appreciated. Thank you for your time and expertise. Cool. So they are, like I said, they're in Italy, Rome, and working in euros. So we're just going to simplify this for myself and the audience that's likely listening to this right now and talk about dollars here. So with such a limited budget, would it be better to focus on a single objective? They said currently that their business's objectives are brand awareness and lead generation. I think if you ask almost any businesses, those are going to be their goals. So that's good to start with. And again, just to rehash, their audience is condo administrators and e-commerce businesses. They're like a parcel service. They deliver packages. So with 15 to 20 bucks a day, that's not horrible, but I would probably stick with one or the other. Without knowing more about the business, I would lean towards brand awareness. If brand awareness is one of the things on their list that they need to achieve, clearly it's lacking. And if brand awareness is lacking, then lead generation is probably only going to happen if people know about you, right? It's kind of common sense to a certain extent. So I would focus on brand awareness at first, also because it's going to be a lower cost to get in front of people. You want to make sure people see you, and then make sure it's engaging, and then the leads will follow that. If you're not out there, they can't find you. If no one cares about you, then why should they? And then once those things start to add up, you'll likely start to get some leads, and you can probably get leads from those brand awareness campaigns to a certain extent, depending on how they're set up. But yeah, definitely once things get rolling, you could reinvest into lead gen campaigns, which Facebook is really, really good at. So you could definitely do that. In terms of the structure, I would certainly break it out between the condo administrators and then the e-commerce businesses. Those are two very different personas that you're going to be going after. So you certainly shouldn't be using the same message to hit each one of those personas, but you definitely want to break it out at the very least based on those. I would definitely focus on breaking out the audiences and making sure that these people just know who you are. Tell them your benefits, tell them why you stand out, why you're different with other people. Use that in the creative, and that would be great. I also would stress video. Maybe a fun idea. You're a delivery service, so like following a package from start to finish. That would be kind of cool. You might need to make it up in terms of like the creative, so you're not actually going to someone's house, but. I think something like that would be really, really cool. That way you could show like the care that you take for the package on its route for delivery, how it shows up on time, and ultimately how you make someone's day when they get that package delivered, and you can show them nice, smiling, and happy. All right, this next one says, am I paying too much for Meta Google Ads management? I run an e-commerce in the US. We do about 2 million gross a year, and we're looking to scale. We run about 7,000 a month in ad spend. Currently, I'm paying a small business in the US $3,500 a month fee to manage media buy for Meta, Google, and Reddit. Does anyone have better ads manager, possibly in India and the Philippines? Can't help you with India or the Philippines. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that can. But yes, you're paying 50% in management fees. You're paying 50% in management fees. Let me say it again. You're paying 50% in management fees. That's horrible. Most agencies will either run on a flat retainer or 15 to 20% ad management. AdLast runs 15%. Wow. 15% of ad management. If it's $3,500 a month flat, then you should scale up you need to use that ad management for everything it's worth, and you should be spending more and taking use of that high retainer. If it's percentage based on your advertising spend, that's way too much. So I would say in either event, that's a little bit high. Even some of the best agencies that are industry specific in the US are charging like $3,000 a month. So you're on the higher end of the higher ends of those, which is different than like an enterprise business. Enterprise businesses, you might get away with charging them $20,000 for a single project that takes a month. That's a lot different. It doesn't sound like you're that. From the start of it, this first comment is very similar. If you gross $2 million, you may be underinvesting in marketing if you're only spending $7,000 a month. Yes, 3.7 is a bit lot, but it doesn't scale at that rate if you're spending 40,000 ads. Would the fee be 20K? Yeah, so I mean, that's the same thing. Typically, you're looking at 12% or so of ad spend, plus tech fees, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, great. So the low end 7K costs the agency. Yeah, I would agree. So compounding, consider how hard it is to deal with someone in India or the Philippines. The time difference is horrible. $3,500 a month seems in line with your ad spend. It's just as much work for the agency if you spend 1K a month or 10K a month. It is in their best interest to help you scale and succeed. Talk to your Google and Meta reps and see how their recommendations compare to your agency's strategy. They're hopefully going to compare vastly differently because Google is more often than not just pitching you to spend more. If your agency hasn't come up with 2 or 3 recommendations of optimization changes, might even be drastic, before they pitch a budget increase, then you should be shopping a new agency. On top of that, if they're charging you $3,500 a month, you could be shopping around for an agency, especially if that's just for ad management spend. That's crazy. As far as what Old Business says, if it's just as much work for the agency if you spend 1K a month or 10K a month, that couldn't be farther from the truth. There is a point where things can start to level out in terms of the amount of work needed, but I will tell you now, it's a lot harder to make sure $1,000 works as effectively as it needs to versus $10,000 working as effectively as it needs to. If you think about the type of people that are spending $1,000, that's going to be a lot of money to them. It's not going to necessarily be a drop in the bucket, and that $1,000 needs to really, really work, and it needs to double, triple their investment, which is possible. It's certainly possible. It's different though than a business that's spending $10,000. I would say to Old Business, it's not the same for an agency whether you spend $1,000 or $10,000. I'll just leave it at that. If you've ever done digital marketing, that's different. And if someone spends your money the same at $10,000 and $1,000, you should definitely be finding a new agency. So let's see. You're already getting a lot of work done for that amount. Most would charge you that amount per channel. I mean, I don't know. I've worked with a few agencies and they don't charge per channel. Might help to think of the ROI instead. I completely agree. If they're making you a high ROI, then keep them. That's also true. I mean, they're getting $1 million in revenue and they're only spending $7,000 a month. So they're definitely, if they attribute everything to the ads, then they're definitely doing well. 7K is insane coming from a PPC media buyer. Yeah, and he's in Pakistan. Even the American media buyers know I usually charge 15 to 20%. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, point being, you could probably save a couple bucks somewhere. All right, let's move on. Got placed on a PIP. Anyone been through something similar? So there's a performance improvement plan. If you've ever been placed on a PIP, you know what they are. I've worked with a few teams. I've put a few people on PIPs. They're typically a last resort, but let's hear this person's story. Could really use some advice here. Not sure if this is the right place to post. So I was recently put on a 30-day PIP by my manager, totally on me, and I know for sure wasn't doing my best work and wasn't totally invested. The work I was doing was lazy. In hindsight, I've only been here for 3 months. Okay, so my manager told me the areas that I need to improve on are soft skills, being more proactive, doing a better job at my analysis, being able to manage my accounts better, etc. He was pretty upfront with me and told me that he sees potential, but I haven't been working to the team standards and I need to improve some of these soft skills. He also told me that they hired me for a reason, and if they really wanted me gone, they could have just terminated me. But he wants to give me a chance to put in the work and turn it around. Sounds like a nice fucking guy. He did say it would be an uphill battle. What a dick. My two options are to stay on the PIP or take 1 month severance and leave. If I stay on the PIP, they can terminate me at any time with no severance, and he said we'd do a 2-week and 4-week check-in. I've heard PIPs are basically a guaranteed termination, but the way he talked about it, it said he wants to see me improve and would help where he can, but ultimately it's up to me. I do plan to look for new jobs just in case while putting in the work here. Anyone have any advice on best course of action? Thanks. Okay. This is really unfortunate. The hard advice, you did it to yourself. It sounds like you're owning up to it, which is pretty solid. You were 3 months in and you weren't doing your best work. I would argue that you should be doing your best work in the first 3 months. The fact that you decided that what is normally a probationary period would be the best time to just be lackadaisical about it, quite frankly, speaks volume to how you're going to perform in the future. And it's a hard truth, but that's just the way it is. I will say, if you busted ass in those first 3 months, you might be surprised at how much you get away with your managers. Any job, I was going to say marketing, any job is about trust. You've clearly demonstrated to your boss that they can't trust you. And for those reasons, you were put on a PIP. Now, the things they put on the PIP are really, in my opinion, what sealed the deal in your case. And this was posted 25 days ago, so we'll actually leave a comment. Maybe they'll respond and see how it's going. I'd be curious to see how this shakes out. But they said soft skills, being more proactive, doing a better job at my analysis, and being able to manage my accounts better. Quantify them. If your manager wanted you there, which it sounds like they don't, they would have said being more proactive by XYZ, reaching ABC goal, showing blah, blah, blah. Doing a better job at my analysis by providing ABC, XYZ, so on and so forth, and able to manage my accounts better. I mean, I'm sorry, your boss clearly wants you gone. He told you, again, it was gonna be an upfront battle, but you're not doing it to the team's standards. And then they offered you a month severance to leave. This really sucks for you. But the harsh reality is that you didn't try in like literally the most important window for you to be trying. And for those reasons, you failed yourself. So it's a hard truth. I would say, this is what his manager said. You need to improve your proactiveness, do a better job, blah, blah. Let's say being more proactive, we need to measure that, right? We need to quantify that result. So I want you to reach out to 3 to 5 team members every week and see what you can do to take off their plate. Or let's say like after every client meeting, I expect you to send me the report on what you talked about and the recap. I shouldn't need to ask for it. So in the 30 days that you're on the PIP, you get 2 strikes, 3 strikes, however many strikes your boss wants to give you. And as long as you don't mess up, then you're good. But you need to quantify these results. Doing a better job at my analysis, I mean, the whole like doing a better job thing for me is really what seals your deal. So you need to quantify these with your manager. Oh, oops. Let's see what happens. All right, let's move on. Good luck to you, SNS 3601. Use this as a learning experience. Bust your ass in the beginning so you can get the wiggle room when you need it. All right, how much money do you spend on marketing? I have a small service-based local business. We generate almost $1 million in revenue last year, spent just over $100,000 in marketing spend and agency. It doesn't feel like it's working, as our revenue hasn't increased with this marketing spend. This is for PPC and social media. Am I reading it correctly? Is revenue all I should be focusing on at the end of the day to work out if they're effective with my money? Is it worth continuing to spend money on an agency? Do you do the marketing yourself? So they generate almost $1 million in revenue. In my experience, the recommendation is that you allocate about 25% of your revenue to your marketing. So in this person's instance, I would say you're underspending by about $150,000. So you could scale. Now, in terms of how you're going to measure it, yes, revenue really should be the crux of what you're looking at. However, let's make sure that everything is in line for your revenue to have increased. You've gotten more leads, more leads, more leads. Have you been able to service those extra leads? Have you hired more people to take on extra work that's coming in? Did you revamp your sales department for the increase in leads that hopefully are coming in? Now, if the increase in leads aren't coming in, then that's another conversation entirely. But if the cost of the agency is just counteracting the increase in revenue, then I would say there needs to be some changes in the business so that you can increase that revenue via scaling your business. It's not always like a marketing scaling problem. Sometimes it's a business scaling problem. Now, the flip side to that is it could very well just not be working. I don't want to downplay what this guy is saying, but this is why I prefer data. If this guy was like, last year we were doing this year we were doing that, that would be great. But we have two numbers over the past year, and that's kind of all we have. Let's see what the people say. Once I read some research by a marketing firm that focuses on small business service. The research found that there was a negative correlation between revenue growth and marketing spend. Why? Their hypothesis is that top growth firms invest their money in people, delivery, and that results in strong word of mouth and referral sales, and the flip is true. If a firm is having problems selling, they fix it by investing in marketing. That ranges varied a lot from like 2% to 15%. What's the takeaway? Invest in delivery, quality sells itself. So this is crazy. Like, I could be every single person on Reddit. Okay, I can speak to this a little bit. My business does not advertise at all. My website is semi-functional, old Shopify. We haven't updated, and shortly by the spring it will be. I do not use social media, no YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook. My last post was Memorial Day 2023, almost exactly over a year ago. Any new customers are found mostly through Google Maps. One of our services or referrals are from other happy clients. That's it. Get your Google business up, get good service up. That way people can find you, they could talk about you. I work in digital marketing and started off in the comms in a more traditional marketing environment. I have long said that digital marketing isn't a silver bullet. That's correct. Digital should amplify, but you can't strong arm a terrible product or company with ads. I'd like to note that focusing on customer experience is marketing. It's not just paid media. Effort can be shifted towards reviews or testimonials. Email is another way to help increase lifetime value and re-engage customers. Ultimately, the barrier to entry in digital marketing is low. Many specialists get lost in the sauce. I think small businesses need a defense. The dark agency are okay. Lost me. Maybe I can't read, which is likely. Your agency is doing a shit job, simply put. Okay. It seems like most people are on the side of like, you either need to know more or you dumped $100,000 into your ads and you didn't do anything about it. Hang on, trying to find something. 500K in gross, spent 12K in marketing and regretted every dollar of it. Okay, that sucks. Bad experience. That happens, man. I mean, do your research before working with an agency. These people out here, like, everyone thinks that they can spend your money on ads, and they can. Moving on to LinkedIn. Hi. I need a few tips for growing a startup's LinkedIn page and reaching out to potential leads and prospects. I've had experience with organic posting, but this is the first time I'm working for a B2B platform. Any guides and methods on how to go about it? No guides or methods that you'll get in this video, but I can give you my 2 cents that hopefully will help. LinkedIn is great for organic posting. Definitely post organically on LinkedIn. It has one of the best reaches right now. Similarly, almost every social media platform is shifting towards the interest graph, it's called. So previously we were on something called a social graph. Now we are on an interest graph, which means that everybody's feed is populated by what they're interested in, what they share, what they like, what they comment, mostly what they share. So now, because it's not a social graph, which is when your feed is populated by who you follow, now since it's by interests, your startup business has a significantly higher likelihood of actually showing up in random people's feeds. They don't need to be following you to see you. So I would say keep posting, because the more at-bats you get, the more chances that you're going to show up in someone's feed. So that's the first bit. The other thing that I would say on LinkedIn, people are seeking information. So you want to be posting infographics, white papers, downloadable PDFs, how-tos, guides, walkthroughs. That's what you need to be posting on LinkedIn. People are seeking information. They're not seeking entertainment. Yes, your information needs to be entertaining, but they're not looking for a distraction. They're looking for a source of truth, if you will. So you got to provide that for them, and you got to be that source of truth for them, which is very, very similar to what SEO was 10 years ago. And it still is. But previously you wanted to have a lot of information on your website. That way Google showed you at the top of the results. Now you want to have a lot of information posted on your feed or on your wall or on your profile. That way social media can promote you and push you out there. So it's very similar. It's very different, but it's very similar. So I would say lean on your expertise in organic posting and just post. You also want to do a little bit more of fun posts, if you will. I don't really know how else to explain it, but you don't need to only post from the business about the business. You can post about stuff in everyday life and make yourself significantly more relatable, and that's going to help too. So in the organic space, you really have a lot of freedom to try to get in front of as many people as you can. And then when you find something that works, you put the money behind it. You start advertising on that post, tweak it, make sure that it's optimized for conversion. There's a strong call to action. There's a strong benefit to someone engaging with that ad. But you really want to make sure that what you're promoting in your ad space is backed by data in your organic presence, because that already worked organically. You didn't need to pay for it to take off and for people to share, comment, which you should do. But the organic presence being boosted is the indicator that this ad is good. So then you take that organic post, that organic social ad, and you put money behind it and you amplify it to the audience. That's what I would do. Information, test organic, put money behind it, and don't be limited to LinkedIn. B2B is great, and LinkedIn is also great, but don't mistake the fact that the people in the businesses are the ones making the decision. So you need to really account for the different spaces that they take up online, and not only find them when they're on LinkedIn. So that's my 2 cents. Show your face, Sales Navigators. Yeah, Sales Navigator is great on LinkedIn. Definitely worth doing it, and this is the only comment. So yeah, if you're going to use LinkedIn, use it to its fullest extent. Use Sales Nav, pay for LinkedIn Premium, do all the things. All right, last one. Is there any website or creator that posts new and trending digital marketing tips and tricks? Well, Banana Bee, you could check out Adlast. Hit like, subscribe, comment below if you like this, and then we'll see you on the next one. Peace.